The new topic is posizione dei veicoli sulla carreggiata. Posizione dei veicoli sulla carreggiata. How we are allowed to position our vehicles on the carriageway or on the road. So let's proceed on this topic. Okay. So there is a way we have to stop or park or position our vehicle on the road. That is, as much as possible on the right side of the road. So now we are going to see. Normally when we are circulating close to areas that animals are present, we are not supposed to circulate too much close to the animals or the lane where the animals are also circulating. Whenever we are circulating either on a motorbike, bicycle, or car, we have to circulate as much as possible on the right side of the road. The lane of overtaking is the one on the left side, so it is not meant for ordinary circulation, but it is meant for just overtaking. Okay, that's why the blue car is being cancelled. The lane reserved for buses we cannot park our vehicles there because it is a bus. Okay, the lane reserved for buses, it is specifically for buses alone and not for ordinary vehicles. Posizione dei veicoli in base al tipo di strada. That is the positioning of the vehicles based upon the type of road. Let's check it out. Make sure you like the video and you subscribe to the YouTube channel if you are new. When we are circulating on the road of a double direction road, we have to circulate as much as possible on the right side of the lane in which we are circulating. This one, which represents the due carreggiate, we have one carreggiata on the left, one carreggiata on the right, because of the sparti traffico in the middle. Okay, so it is a double direction road with two lanes for each sense of circulation. This one is a strada with tre carreggiate. One carreggiata on the left, one carreggiata in the middle, one carreggiata on the right side. The carreggiata on the left, they're both carreggiate. The one on the left and one on the right, they are of senso unico. Meanwhile, the carreggiata in the middle, it is two lanes for each sense of circulation. Two lanes for each sense of circulation. Now, the line or the lane divided with the double straight line, it is the lane called corsia di emergenza. It is not used for ordinary circulation, but for vehicles to stop there or to park there in case there is fault with the vehicle or the driver is not feeling well. This one is one carreggiata with two lanes for each sense of circulation as well. Every vehicle must make sure he or she is circulating in the right direction. Marcia per file parallele, which is vehicles circulating in a parallel way. What does it mean? This is what it means. Meaning a carreggiata where all vehicles are going at the same direction or the opposite direction, but it is one vehicle behind the other. We have to watch our speed and be careful because of the different kinds of vehicles circulating on the same carreggiata. Do not forget that the ordinary lane for circulation is the one on the right side. So I repeat, do not forget that the ordinary lane, the lane for ordinary circulation, is for the lane on the left. Okay, meanwhile the one for ordinary circulation is the one on the right, sorry. The one for overtaking is the lane on the left. Okay. Why is it that we have two motorbikes, one a tick with correct, one is the X, which is wrong? Meaning, even though there is traffic, we have to stay circulating on the right lane because the left one is used for what? For overtaking. Okay, the one on the left is also always used for overtaking. What are we watching here? When the vehicles stop for the kids to cross or for the pedestrians to cross, we have to obey the direction of the traffic officer, which opens his arm for us to stop. So no one is allowed to make any overtaking. The two vehicles, blue and yellow, are being cancelled because this is a double direction road and they are trying to make an overtaking on the left side on a double direction road, which is not allowed. Is that clear? Whenever we intend to park and we are in a circulation on the road, we have to show by navigator first that we intend to turn on the left side so that we do not cause any blockade or accident on the road. That's why you see let me go back. That's why you see, let me go back again. That's why you see the blue car showing by navigator wanting to turn to the left side in order to enter in the parking space. Very good. Let's move forward. Cambio di corsia, meaning when you intend to change a lane or when you intend to change the lane in which you are circulating already. Let's see, when is it allowed? So when you are behind the vehicle, you intend to change a lane, you have to show by the navigator that you intend to change the lane, or to make an overtaking. Okay, so the vehicle that is stopped on the carreggiata must stop as much as possible on the right side of the road to make the circulation of the other vehicles very easy and more comfortable. So you see what is happening here? The blue car intends to make an overtaking of the bus, but it is too close to the bus. So that maneuver is prohibited. Meanwhile, the ash car is the one doing the right thing. Whenever you intend to turn to the left, what must you do? Show by navigator and also check on the left mirror, whether there are vehicles coming from behind you to avoid accident, of course. Again, you have to check carefully. Okay, very good. Now, when you are on corsia di preselezione, that is on a carreggiata whereby you can choose which lane to access, what you are allowed to do is you can change the lane in which you are circulating, okay? But what you are not allowed to do is to change the lane when the line dividing the lane is continuous. That is what you are not allowed to do, or when you are not allowed to change the lane in which you are circulating. So make sure you change the lane when the line is tratteggiata, just as the red car is doing. Okay. Cambio di direzione, change of direction. Now, you change the direction by showing by the navigator as long as the line is discontinua. Okay, discontinua, and you proceed gradually in the corsia di decelerazione, which is the lane to exit from the autostrada or extraurbana principale. Do not forget the name, corsia di decelerazione, the lane of deceleration. When you intend to turn on the right side, you follow the segnaletic horizontale design on the pavement. Okay, if the arrow says you can turn to the right, then you move to the right. But if on the pavement it is not indicated to turn to the right, that is when you will be making or causing an accident, just as the ash car is about to do. Is that clear to everyone? So you turn to the right side because the lane in which you are allows you or allows it to be done. Okay. When you intend to turn to the right and there are pedestrians crossing, you reduce your speed and of course stop and wait for them to finish crossing on the zebra crossing. What is the meaning of this sign? Let's see. This is what it actually means. That the lane on the left allows you to only turn to the left. The lane in the middle allows you to go straight alone. Meanwhile, the lane on the right side allows you to go straight and to turn to the right side. Very simple. Okay, when it is a camion and the camion intends to turn, it has to turn in a wider way so that it does not pass on the pavement. Okay. Very good. So you see, you check your speed. So you see the mistake here of the Ferrari or the Bugatti vehicle, the yellow one. The yellow one begins an overtaking as he sees that the rimorchio ahead or the auto articolato ahead is turning to the right side. So you are not allowed to make that kind of overtaking unless ahead of you, you can see well the road. Okay, because in this manner, you just cause accident. When turning as a big vehicle, make sure you turn wide and also do not transit on the pavement. Okay, so watch this. When you tend to cross on this kind, you stop in the middle, then you go. When it is yellow, get ready to stop. Red means you stop. Okay. When you want to turn to the left side and there is a filobus, okay, you reduce your speed, wait for the filobus to cross and for the pedestrians also to cross before you also cross this kind of incrocio. At the traffic light intersection, you stop at the linea trasversale. We are talking about, the topic is the positions of the vehicle, or how should the vehicle position itself on the road, the right way of positioning on the road. That's what we are treating. Okay. So you stop on the linea trasversale with the continuous white line. Okay. And when the traffic light is green you proceed to the direction that you intend to go. So here, the blue car cannot turn to the left because the middle lane only goes straight. Very good. This is similar to what we saw yesterday, but this one is slightly different because when passing or crossing on this intersection, the middle, the center of the intersection must stay on the right side of the vehicle coming from down, which is the blue. The one coming from the upper side, turning to the left side, okay, must keep the right side of the vehicle at the center of the intersection. That is the right way of crossing an encroacher. This one is, it is an encroacher without a roundabout we are talking about. So please capture it in your mind, keep it in your mind, learn it in the right way. What is not allowed is when crossing on this intersection, our left side, the left side of our vehicle pass at the center of the intersection. So that is why this one is wrong. Is that clear to everyone? Yes or no? Because exactly this is present in the quiz. Okay. Let's move forward. On a roundabout, you reduce your speed and you turn or you circulate according to the arrows of the roundabout, which says from left to right. So you have to circulate from left to right. That's the direction. And you choose where you want to exit, of course. So when the arrow is indicating to the left, we stay on the left side because we want to turn to the left. If the arrow goes straight and you intend to turn to the left, it will be wrong. So you need to stay on the lane, on the left lane. That is if you intend to turn to the left. Very simple. Okay. This will reduce accidents on the road. Inversione di marcia, which is a U-turn. So let's see when can we do the U-turn in the city and out of the city. So in the city, inversione di marcia è consentita in the city. Inversione di marcia out of the city, it is not what? Allowed. So here it is, out of the city, which is extraurbana principale and even the autostrada. They intentionally add these two roads together, extraurbana principale and the autostrada. You cannot do what? U-turn. I repeat, on the autostrada and on the extraurbana principale, a U-turn is prohibited. Is that clear? At the intersection in Croce with the traffic light, a U-turn is prohibited. Again, do not forget it. It is prohibited. On a curve, when the line is continuous, we are not allowed to do a U-turn because it is one carreggiata and it has one lane for each sense of circulation. That is why the U-turn is not allowed. Even in tunnel, okay, it is not allowed to do a U-turn. On a carreggiata with a continuous line separating the carreggiata, which is a double sense of circulation road, when the line is continuous, we are not allowed to make a U-turn on this road too. Okay? When are we allowed to make a U-turn? We are allowed when the line is tratteggiata, when the line is discontinuous. okay, that is when we can make a U-turn on the road that we are circulating. Let's see all the other ones so that we move forward. Make sure you like the video. So watch this. You show by navigator that you want to turn. Very simple. Okay, you do reverse and then you enter again to the direction where you want to go. Very simple. When there is traffic, we are not allowed to make a U-turn, okay, especially when the vehicles are circulating in a parallel way. Okay, you will block all the circulation and create a very serious accident. Emissione nel flusso della circolazione, that is entering in the circulation of the road. Let's see, how are we supposed to do that? You use your left or your right side mirror to check whether there are vehicles coming before you enter by showing with the navigator that you intend to enter on the circulation of the road. So watch this. You see, you show by navigator and you keep watching whether there are vehicles coming. If there are no vehicles coming, you just enter and then you move forward and you go. You see, very good. That is how it is done. Also, if it is a motorbike, the same thing applies to it. You put on your helmet, okay, and you show by navigator as well if you intend to enter on the road. When circulating on the road, we are under obligation to put on the seat belt, okay, and to stay far from the vehicles that are parked on the road. When we are getting out or from our private property, which is the passo carabile, we proceed gradually, okay, and we check. If there are no vehicles coming, we enter on the circulation and then we go. When there are pedestrians transiting, also we reduce our speed, allow them to cross before we move forward. Now, here is when a parked vehicle on the road, how we are allowed to enter on the circulation. So what's this? What's this? You make sure there are no vehicles coming. You show by navigator, then you move forward. Let's check it again. You check that there are no vehicles coming behind you. You show by navigator, and then you move forward. Very simple. Again, why are they saying sottrazione di punti? In this case, it is sottrazione di punti. Why? Because the ash car, what is the ash car doing? The ash car is behind the yellow car. Now, what is the mistake of the yellow car now? The yellow car is making a reverse without watching behind. And if it is involved in an accident in that situation or in that case, the problem is that there will be subtraction of points for the vehicle or for the one driving the vehicle yellow. Do you understand me? Yes or no? Let me know if you understand. Accostamento al margine della carreggiata, meaning parking on the side of the road. Accostamento al margine della carreggiata is parking on the side of the carriageway. Let's see how you do it. So you see, you enter gradually, you do reverse, then you restricting your vehicle. Madam Rebecca, you say you don't understand. So why were you quiet and watch it? I'm talking, but you people are quiet. Comportamento a incroci, which is crossing at the intersection. And this sign, we have seen it before, which is intersection with the right of precedence on the right side. Okay, so if your right side is occupied, you are not allowed to cross on this intersection. When I'm explaining and you don't understand something, you have to talk immediately. You don't wait for me to always be repeating, do you understand? Do you understand? Do you understand? Allora, now at this intersection, the vehicle blue, the light blue, can change lane, but by showing it with the navigator, because the line separating the carreggiata or the corsia, let me take it back, it is what? Discontinua. Okay. What are they showing us here? When we intend to enter on the main circulation and we realize there is traffic, we have to enter into the main circulation gradually. Gradually, of course, by reducing our speed or checking the speed of our vehicle. A U-turn is not allowed at an intersection. If you want to stop on the right side of the road, what do? You on the quattro frecce, which is the light behind your vehicle, so that you can be more visible on the road. This example too, we have seen it before. You cannot overtake by entering in the opposite direction at the intersection regulated by a traffic light. Do you see that the green car has the red line, which means the green car is the one doing the wrong thing? So why? Because the lane in which the green car was positioned, that lane allows you only to go to the right side. So let's watch this. Look at this. Look at this. He did reverse to position in order to change the lane. Let's go back again. Let's see it again. So here what happened is that you realize you have chosen the wrong lane. There are no vehicles behind you. So look at what he did. You do reverse, go back to where the lane is discontinua, and then you change the lane in which you are circulating. Here is the agente de tráfico. If the agente de tráfico is the one directing the lane, we follow the instruction of the agente de tráfico. The line red in between the motorbike and the bicycles is to tell us if there are motorbikes or bicycles circulating in the middle of the carreggiata, we are not allowed to pass in between them. I repeat, we are not allowed to pass in between the motorbikes and the bicycles on the road. We just have to proceed gradually until we get to the crossing. That's all. Now, do you see what is happening here? That the red motorbike is parked beside the car or stopped beside the car. Now, we are not allowed to use the horn on the road if the vehicle ahead of us takes time before moving forward, even though the traffic light is color green. That's why we see the horn being cancelled. When the vehicle in front of us is faulty, we have to be patient, not using the horn, but actually exercising patience enough, or possibly even helping the person because maybe the vehicle is faulty. Okay, so we just have to help him out to push the vehicle off the road, off the road. Do not use, in this case, look at what happened. You see that the black car is proceeding with high speed. The mistake here is the fact that the yellow did not use the horn in making the overtaking. So this is resulting of an accident on the road because the yellow car did not check well that there was a vehicle behind it. What are they showing us here? Here we can see how we have to circulate on a runabout, one behind the other. So the vehicles in the runabout must give what? Precedence to those that are what? Entering. Do you see the issue here? Okay. At the runabout, we have the sign dare precedenza. And whenever there are vehicles circulating in a runabout already, before we enter in the circulation of the runabout, we have to wait for the vehicles on the left side that are already circulating in the runabout to cross or to go where they are going before we can also occupy the runabout. That is why we have the sign dare precedenza at the runabout. So we have to wait if the runabout is occupied. When civilians are crossing the attraversamento pedonale and there is traffic on the road, we are not allowed to stop on the zebra crossing. We have to make sure the zebra crossing is free. You have to make sure it is not occupied with our vehicle. That's why the yellow car is cancelled with red. And those that have not occupied the zebra crossing, that one is green, because the zebra crossing should not be blocked by any vehicle, even though there is traffic on the road. The topic we are treating, I repeat, it is called Posizione dei veicoli sulla carreggiata. How we are allowed to position our vehicles on the road and how to behave on the road. So now, let's move forward. In this type of road, incrocio, we stop, dare precedenza, intersezione. Let's see how we have to behave in the presence of any of these signs. So when there is a tram, what must we do? Reduce our speed and stop and wait for the tram to cross. Okay? Dare precedenza, we reduce our speed and stop if it is required. That is, if there are no vehicles crossing the intersection. Then we cross the intersection. Very good. When we have stop in front of us, it means we can't see well, either on the right or on the left side. So we have to simply stop at this intersection. Is that clear for everyone? If I'm teaching and there is something not clear, say it. Don't wait till I've crossed that side because we can't go back continuously, okay? The stop, when we see a stop, we have to do a stop where the linea transversale is. That's the thick white line is. And the written word on the pavement, stop. Dare precedenza on this incrocio, which is the one we did, I think a day ago, on if our right side is occupied, we are not allowed to cross the intersection. Again, another incrocio, which with the right of precedence. So we have precedence over the vehicles entering in the intersection from the right or on the left side. This sign is positioned only in the city, only in the area urbana. When we are descending from a road and we realize that, watch this carefully. Do you see that the blue car is doing reverse now? Let me pause it. The reason is because if the blue car intends to move forward, it can be crashed by what? By the bus. So it does reverse and allows what? The bigger vehicle to come first. Why? Let me go back so that you can understand what I'm telling you, so that there will not be 10,000 questions here. I repeat. Let me move it forward. Okay, what's this? What's this? What's this? The two of them cannot cross on that road. So what's this? The one that is descending, which is the blue, must do reverse and stop in a safer place. For the one that is climbing to cross first. So the question will refer you that il veicolo in salita è obbligato a fare retromarcia. The answer is falso, because it is the one that is in discesa that must do reverse. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yes or no? So the blue one, the bus crosses first. Uso corretto della strada, that's the right way, the right use of the road. So now let's see how you're supposed to use the road in reality. So here to tell us the best way to use the road is to circulate in such a way to avoid danger and accident to all those that are circulating on the road. And the things that we must consider as people who have sense. Okay, as people who have sense. I'm telling you what the topic is about, okay? How the topic states their questions. So here it is. It says, condizione della strada, condizioni del veicolo. Forte senso civico means high civil sense. High civil sense or capacity. And then buon senso. Buon senso is common sense or good sense. So it's not me that I'm saying something. Buon senso means to apply common sense or doing the right thing according to human logic. Let's see what specifically is all about. This is the part whereby you just have to apply common sense when driving. Here it is. When you see the yellow light on for a long time, common sense will let you know that, oh boy, do not accelerate too fast though. Why? Because the light is about to be what? Red. The light is about to be what? Red. So apply common sense by reducing your speed. Another common sense we must apply here. If the civilian is crossing, we are not supposed to use the horn or accelerate or hit them with our vehicle. When you are circulating on the road, common sense will tell you on the dim light. I repeat, when you are circulating in a tunnel or on a road with, let me say, limited visibility, the common sense will tell you that on the light, the dim light of your vehicle. Do you understand what I'm saying? I presume you understand because you are not saying anything. When you are circulating and there are bigger vehicles ahead, behind you, make sure you check them, okay, as you are driving. And also make sure you watch carefully behind your vehicle, even though your attention should be on the vehicles in front of you. When you intend to make any overtaking, make sure no one else has begun the maneuver of overtaking in order not to be involved in an accident. When the lane in which you are circulating does not allow you to turn to the right side, do not turn. So, when you are circulating on this type of road, you should know by a rule or by law that the lane on the right side allows vehicles to turn only to the right. The lane on the left side allows vehicles to go straight or to turn to the left. Is that clear to everyone? These are not new things, so these are things we have been treating over and over and over again. On a road where we see the tram circulating, we are not allowed to park our vehicle on the right side of that carreggiata because we would be blocking the circulation of the tram or the filobus. When you are circulating and you intend to make any overtaking, what must you do? Check well the left side, okay, and do the overtaking with the right speed. Do not race with other vehicles on the road. It is prohibited. When you know your vehicle is a racing vehicle or a vehicle that goes fast like Bugatti, Ferrari, you have to be very vehicle when circulating. What's this? What's this? What are they showing us? You are transiting on a bridge and it is a curved bridge. You reduce your speed, you circulate with the dim light, not the highlight. With the dim light, let me repeat it again. You circulate it with the dim light. So what's this? What's this? Here they go. Very good. So you make sure you on your dim light and not the high one, because the high one will cause problem to those that are facing you. In the city, by law, you know the high speed limit is 50. Out of the city, 90. Extraurbana principale is 110. Autostrada is 130 kilometers per hour. This is the speed limit where? In the city or in the land of Italy. In the land of what? Italy. This is the speed limit that applies to Italy. Okay? So you obey the speed limit because you know it by law. In intersections where you are allowed to make overtaking, you just make that overtaking as you are allowed. Do not circulate to block the circulation of the tram. Okay? Make sure the tram lane is not occupied by your vehicle to block its circulation. Do not use the horn when you realize the vehicles in front of you are all stopped. Okay? Do not use the horn because you are in the city. When you are parking, in this case, the issue here is that they are having a program on the road, okay? That's why you see civilians ahead. Because of the program, you cannot proceed, okay? So you park on the right side of the carreggiata, as much as possible on the right side of the carreggiata, and wait for them to finish the program on the road before you cross the road. Is that clear? Are you learning something? Yes or no? If you are not, you can also write note. You can write, no, I'm not learning anything. It could be possible that you are not learning anything. So when you see that they are working or they are having a program on the road, what you can do is turn at the next intersection, especially if you cannot wait on the road, maybe because you'll be late for work. That's all. You turn and then you move forward. A civilian can be crossing the carreggiata without paying attention of the vehicle on the road. That does not mean you should hit him or her with your vehicle. You have to be ready to stop. Always. Okay? Always. Un breve colpo di clacson. When are we allowed to use the horn? When are we allowed to use the horn quickly on the road? In danger situations. When the police vehicle has the written word halt, policia, or we have to stop, then we are under obligation to stop because it is positioned on top of the vehicles of the policia. When we see the written word in front of us that accostare on top of the police vehicle, we have to what? As soon as possible, stop on the right side because they want to check probably our document or the vehicle if everything is in order. So you see, at polizia, you stop. At court, incidente, when there is this written word incidente also on top the police vehicle, it means ahead of us there is an accident. Okay? Cenni sul carico dei veicoli. Cenni, which is alert of the load on the vehicle. How the load should be positioned. Now, the load on the vehicle should be positioned in such a way to guarantee stability to the vehicle. The load that you position on your vehicle should not be more than the load indicated on your libretto, which is the carta di circolazione. That is how you know how much your vehicle can carry as weight. If you load it beyond the weight allowed for your vehicle, you will be sanctioned by the police. Is that clear? When the load on your vehicle is about to fall, you have to stop and position the load in a better way to avoid it falling on the road. When the load on your vehicle exits from the shape of your vehicle, that is 3 decimi, 3/10 from the shape of your vehicle, you position the panel, white and red, behind the load that exits from the shape of the vehicle, so that the vehicles behind will be careful that, hey, your vehicle is very long and there is a load exiting from the shape of your vehicle. When we talk about scooter or motorbikes, we can position a load behind our vehicle, and it shouldn't be more than 50 centimeters from the shape of our vehicle. I repeat, it shouldn't be outside of the shape of our vehicle above 50 centimeters. Okay? Okay. Approfondimento is just adding little things to the very things we have learned concerning the road, the vehicles, the speed, and the prohibitions. So let's see what it's all about. So here it is concerning approfondimento. It's very simple. Let's check it out, one road at a time. So here's the approfondimento. When it is a double sense of circulation and the line dividing it is strateggiata, we can make the overtaking. These are things we have heard before. Okay, they just repeat it again. You can make the overtaking on the left side by entering in the other direction. We are not allowed to circulate on the opposite direction, even though the line is strateggiata and it is a double direction road. Okay. At the bumping, we are not allowed to stop on top of the bumping, okay? But beside the bumping, on the right side of the bumping, we are allowed to stop our vehicle in case of emergency purposes. You remember, I've told you this before. Okay. At the climbing point of the dorsal, which is the bumping, we cannot stop there. Okay, at the climbing point, we have to check our speed and we cannot make any overtaking because we can't see well ahead of us. These 3 lanes, A, B, and C, the lane A is for ordinary circulation. The lane B is for what? Overtaking. I repeat, the lane B is the only lane used for what? Overtaking. The lane C and A are used for what? Ordinary circulation. The lane B is the only one used for what? Overtaking. That's the meaning of this carreggiata here. Let me repeat the animation again. Let's go backwards. Okay, a little bit too much. So let me repeat the animation again. Check it out. So the lane A and C is for ordinary circulation. Meanwhile, the B is for overtaking. Okay. Very good. Is that clear for everyone? Marvel Melody. Good afternoon. Corsia di marcia is the one on the right side, on the opposite direction. Okay, so this one, it is one carreggiata that has 2 lanes for each sense of circulation. Okay. On the lane reserved for bicycles, it is not allowed for motorbikes to circulate there, which is the lane limited with the yellow line. I repeat, the lane reserved for bicycles is not for motorbikes to circulate there. It is prohibited, and it is limited by the yellow line. This is what we have seen before, the different types of corsia. So like I said, this one is just taking us through how to circulate on the road and the very things we have been seeing before. Thank you guys for watching. This is the end of this topic, which is posizione dei veicoli sulla carreggiata, the positioning of the vehicles on the carriageway. Okay. God bless you for joining. See you the next time. I'll be coming live in the afternoon. Okay, I think around 3 p.m., something like that. So God bless you all. See you the next time. Join the class with Marvin, the teacher. Ciao, ciao.